Stop being a people pleaser. People pleasing is dangerous. It makes us live for others. As a consequence, we don't look after our own needs. This can make us physically unwell, as Dr. Gabor Mate talks about.
So there's all these pressures not to be yourself. And then what happens is you get sick, you get depressed, you get anxious, you get cancer, you get autoimmune disease, because the pain of not being yourself is too much.
And worst of all, we can neglect God in the process. But the prophets of God teach us how to navigate this. They teach us how not to become a yes man like Jim Carrey, but neither an obstinate narcissist like Satan. The final prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reflected the perfect balance. He was both deeply loving and kind, while also not a people pleaser. How do we know this? Because on the one hand, he went against the power structures of his time, even if that meant he would face the discomfort of conflict and persecution as we see in the brutal Makkah period. And on the other hand, he was in the constant service of others. Balancing between these two polarities is the highest form of ethics. Saying no to what displeases God, saying yes to what benefits people. So people pleasing, in its truest sense, is really about doing things that go against God's commands because of your own weakness in saying no. But how did the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, live out this balance? Well, he would split the day for being in the service of others and the night for being for God. This is the natural circadian way. Be fully with people in the day and fully with your Lord at night. Engage and then disengage. Much of our people pleasing is rooted in childhood trauma, but a lot of it in culture too. I mean, how many of us growing up would hear our parents say, but what would so and so think? Perhaps it was about a job or your grades, your clothes, your wedding, the list goes on. You know what I'm talking about. This needs to stop. People pleasing ultimately results in resentment within us, and after a while comes out in explosive, often quite nasty ways. So you best deal with it before it's too late. Look, this starts with self-awareness and then communication skills. We would do well to learn how to authentically express what we are feeling, not in this kind of crude, overtly direct way, but with sensitivity and clarity. When people can understand clearly what we feel and why, the more likely they are to accept when we say no. It is not possible to please everyone, as the great Imam Shafi'i would say. Therefore, live for the gaze and acceptance of God, and people's love and approval will follow.